Chase, there is something that I need your help on. What is more likely, that you've played a bunch of new video games or that I have gotten another corgi?
This week, I would say they are equal. They're equal percentages, equal odds.
I did not think that we would be here this Wednesday.
We could have guessed.
With both of those being true. But it is. We have a new corgi here at the Peas Ranch, the Peas Pod. Therefore, we have another mascot for the casual hour. This is Lando, and he is adorable and great, and everybody should say hello, Lando, when they get to meet him because he's very cool.
I look forward to meeting Lando.
The other two corgis are certainly not as amped as Sarah and I are. So it's not been terrible, but it's not been as easy as it had been when we brought Obi home first, when we had other dogs, and then when we brought R2 home, and like those two like immediately hit it off, and we just assumed it would kind of go that route. So that's been a little bit of a bummer.
Like, hey, we had a good thing going. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like the other ways that we did this, it worked pretty well. And I don't think that we did anything wrong here. But like when you reach it online, it's like, oh, wow, we should have done this instead of this when we brought them together, because they were super bonded, those two. And anyway, pet talk is a whole other podcast we can start up. But we are very excited to have a third corgi. I'm very excited that Chase has been playing video games.
Hell yeah, brother.
If you were not tuning into our prior shows, Chase, you had a little jaunt away from home. And those who might also not know, Chase is the original trademarked, correct, gamer on the go. And you,
I don't know if it's trademarked, but sure, yeah.
But you are one to play video games on the go, and you were certainly.
I like playing games on the go, especially like when I go see my parents. They do not have the internet. I mean, they have the internet on their phones.
Good
but
for
we don't
them.
Have, it's kind of nice. It really is. So when I go and visit them,
have you seen the internet lately?
Yes, unfortunately, I have. So when I go visit them, it is really nice to just kind of unplug a little bit and to, well, I mean, I'm still plugged. I'm just not plugged to online. So, you know, I got to play my Switch 2 a lot. I got to play a lot of games on that. I got to just watch some things on my laptop.
Hang on. I don't know if our audio is working.
Your audio is working. Was my audio working?
Is it?
Yeah, my audio is working.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you can.
Shut up. Everything's fine.
I'm just not seeing the flashing light whenever you talk.
This. You're not seeing this?
Flashing lights.
No, it sounds like everything's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to play a lot of stuff. I got to watch some stuff that has been saved on my laptop for a while. So I had a great time. And then you get to come back and you go, yeah, okay, all right. Well, I guess I'll look at Blue Sky for a little bit.
Yeah, man. Well, we have a lot to catch up on tonight, so let's not mince any words on it. There's at least 3 new things that Chase has checked out. There's 1 new thing I've checked out and a couple updates to give here. So let me do 2 quick check-ins with you if you don't mind. Chase?
Sure.
Death Stranding 2, I got Kojima hard in that game, and I remembered why he was really dumb and stupid with his writing in the first Death Stranding. And I've been able to ignore most of it because I think that game's story is pretty bad, but the game is still very good. And I had one moment where I was just like, okay, this character is super dumb and this story is even dumber. But I like carrying.
Have I met this character yet?
This character is also in another video game. Well, this actress is in another video game with her likeness shared, and it involves Star Wars. So.
Yes. Okay, I've met the doctor.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that was very dumb.
That was pretty stupid.
That was very, very dumb. So anyway, I still love that game, which is weird to say. All that stuff considered.
I'm probably still a little ways behind you.
I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of there still.
Okay. I met the mothers.
That's where
I'm a little so I'm a little around that area now. You know, I met the VTuber. I'm actually starting to really, really enjoy it. I know when we first talked about this game, we had some qualms, and I think we both were enjoying our time with it, but also had some pretty serious problems with it. And I don't know if it's just that I've gotten better gear that has made that has smoothed out some of the rough edges that I was dealing with, or if I've just gotten used to those things,
Uh,
or if
yeah.
something about like the way the gameplay is being set up. Because even going through stealthy combat missions, I was having a really good time doing those.
Hmm.
And now especially that they've stepped up what the enemies are doing,
Yeah.
and also stepped up your ability to surveil those enemies. That I think has really helped to bring me around on that aspect of the game, and I've been enjoying all the other aspects basically the whole time. Maybe save the story again. I still think I think the newness of Death Stranding 1 and the mystery of Death Stranding 1 was really pulling me along, and I don't feel like I'm getting nearly as much of that. It kind of just feels like the same stuff, but
Yeah.
now we're throwing some other silly characters in there every once in a while, and it's not doing nearly as much for me. But I am
I'm
really enjoying the game. I'm
I am
looking forward
too.
to getting back to it.
I'm gonna try and wrap it up, and I need to stop playing something else, which I'm getting close on that too. But I want to wrap that up before I play Metal Gear Solid at the end of the month. So I don't want to like completely stop.
It's still probably a tall order. I think we're both like only halfway through Australia, and that's there's a lot more of that country.
Well, I'm just
to go
wondering if that
through.
like goes. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I don't want to rush it for the sake of rushing because I am having a really good time there. But the other game that I've probably played the most of, like work's been super stressful. We got a new puppy. My sessions have not been as like long winded as they typically used to be before this puppy and everything. But I'm spending most of my time in Grounded 2, and that has been just such an awesome game. I'm like really enjoying this build. The way that you kind of remember, I believe, that I had like built on a log at least, and like that branch would go up, and I put the little like huts.
Sure.
I like
remember huts.
Yeah, I like to build things on and grounded that look more like naturally put. And so like they made it an easy layup, and I didn't choose this one for that reason. But in the starting area, there's a giant acorn tree that has all these like half mushrooms growing on it. And people have done some remarkable like fairy looking villages where they have little ladders going up between these mushrooms and huts on each mushroom. And that has been like the most picturesque and very convenient. But I went a bit further out to different resources, and I found these wooden posts that had like a rope fence that go up to this really cool picnic table area. And I had the idea of like a birdhouse style base. And so I did a spiral bridge that goes up this post. And on the very top of it is where I've been building out this like birdhouse inspired style base to fit in like, yeah, there could be a birdhouse in this park. And it doesn't have to be exactly that, but it's been so much fun. And the other thing I just want to update you on that I think they've added in that's really cool, besides some of the building mechanics, this game takes place between like 89 and 91. I don't know if you knew that it was like set in that time period.
Okay.
So all the action figures and everything that you find around there, like the drink boxes and juice pouches, like all feel like shit that I grew up like fantasizing like these adventures while eating those snacks. But there is been this individual that's hacked into your interface. And the way that they've like depicted the hacking feels very much like how hacking felt mystical and magical back in the 90s, like all those movies. And she has this orc ability. Like you end up finding out that she's the one that has hacked the insects and creatures with these little like weird antennae that she's mind controlling. And what they've done with that mechanic is like you're doing these quests to go and find out who it is, but she is sending her minions to attack you. And they kind of turn your base into a tower defense mode, because there'll be horde waves that come out of nowhere where it's like, hey, you've got like this incoming thing coming down, and you can build these acorn turrets where you can load up other little pebblets and you can start to like defend your base that way. Or you can get on your buggy and have your buggy assist with it. And so you'll just be out there building and doing shit. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, a horde's coming through. And you have to kind of like batten down the hatches and go to like fight shit. But it's also a cool way to get different insects that aren't traditionally around your biome in the game. So I've appreciated that aspect. And I think it's a really cool element. I feel this character will end up siding with you. And I think it's going to be one of those stories where it's like, oh, the enemy of my enemy makes you my friend type thing, which could be cool. But the way that you have mounts and that technology, I have an idea that you're going to be able to get some sort of like mind control and have them start to build or like patrol or gather and do stuff for you. And I could see them doing some really cool quality of life stuff with it. So Grounded 2 continues to be really fun. The last thing I will say, I'm 2.5 chapters into this game, and I kind of want to wait for you to play it, and I don't see it as something for you tonight. So maybe we can talk more about it next week. But I have been playing Is the Seat Taken? And that game rules. It's so fun. I want to be careful what I talk about because they introduce some cool mechanics that kind of expand upon what I thought at the start was a little bit simple when it came to some of the puzzling on how you would do it.
Did you play the demo of
we played it together.
Game? Okay. So so you're further in at this point than the demo was?
So the demo is basically one stage where there's like 4 stops to the stage. And thematically, they have multiple worlds where there's 4 stops in each one. So it could be just different showings of the same movie. It could be a concert. It could be some other form of like limousine travel, a bus. So there's like other things that like go through the scene that the scenario stays the same, but the people change. And sometimes those people carry over now between a lot of the stuff with it.
Sure. Okay.
There's actually a story to it.
Yeah, I knew that part, and it does seem really cool. I did buy it and download it on my iPad. I considered getting it on Switch, but I think just the iPad is probably a really great interface for something like that.
It's great.
So I decided to go that way instead. And yeah, it was on my list of things to play this weekend, and then I got caught up with some of the other things that I'll be talking about.
I want to talk more about it, but I want to be able to talk more about what's beyond that demo and to see like how you're feeling it. So
let's save it for next week then. I'll try to make that a priority.
I think that's a deep dive next week too. So like that could be a fun thing to talk about before.
Oh, sure.
But anyway, let's move on to what you've been doing, because I think that's probably far more interesting than Death Stranding and Grounded updates at this point in time.
Sure. Well, I'll run through a couple of things relatively quickly. I have been demo pilled that I've just been playing all sorts of demos. We talked about we had our August preview, and there was a specific particular video game that I was excited about that Bobby was not excited about. It's called Super Robot Wars Y, everybody. And then they just announced like, oh hey, by the way, there's a demo out for it now. And I went, oh, well, shit. Okay, I guess I'm doing that. So I played through that demo. It's one chapter, which is, like 3 or 4 missions that you can do.
So that's like, what, 20 hours?
No, it was like 2 hours, maybe. That certainly is a Super Robot Wars game, and I will enjoy playing the hell out of it, I am sure. It does have some interesting mechanics when it comes to upgrading the main ship. That the 30 Super Robot Wars 30 also had some of these kinds of mechanics, but I'm interested in the way that they were kind of tweaking it a little bit. I think some of the original characters are it's a bit of a mixed bag. There's some pretty good ones. I like the main girl option that you can get. I like her, the person she's like bodyguarding for, and that person's tutor. I think those are kind of good characters. But then it also turns out that in a very stupid Super Robot Wars way, this young girl now gets to be in control of this giant spaceship, and the 99 maids of her house actually are secretly all the people who are needed to run the ship effectively, from maintenance to medical to all that kind of stuff. So it is kind of weird that like half the new characters are all maids, and I'm like, I'm not really a maid guy, but okay, that's fine.
You're a made man. But
sure.
That was a good one.
It was a good one. I'm gonna write it down.
Write that one down. That's a good one.
Yes, you had a question, Bobby.
What is the biggest change that got you the most excited after 2 hours of this demo?
There's not a change. I think in fact the thing that got me excited is they didn't
and the thing that was, it wasn't the maids that got you excited.
No, no. In fact,
Oh.
the maids got me a little bit bored, and I think they kind of, when every character has a similar kind of outfit, you're like,
They did
that's,
that shit with the first Descendant, and it was
mm,
lame as fuck. Like, I hated it.
yeah.
And everybody out there was like bunny ears and a maid, and it was just like, you gooners, like, let's play the
I mean,
game.
yeah. If there was one character who was like, "Oh, I'm like the
I'm the
super maid," I'd
maid.
go, "Okay,
Yes.
that's one character, that's fine." But when like five characters that I'm interacting with regularly are all maids, and like, it's
I
fine,
think
I
Marvel
guess.
Rivals has like kind of leaned pretty heavily into
I
like
believe that. Yeah.
oh, everybody loves these characters. Let's put them all in like very provocative swimsuits, and the summer skins just came out,
Sure.
and now
Yeah.
everybody's calling it
And you
Gooner
get that. Like
Rivals.
I've. I mean, you get that with Fire Emblem as well. It's
Oh
like, hey,
yeah,
this is the spring event, so everybody gets bunny ears. Like now we're into the summer event, everybody gets swimsuits. Now it's the winter event, everybody's in, Santa costumes. That stuff happens too. It's kind of whatever.
I do
But
have
at
one
least for this
question.
game, knowing that I'm going to be putting so much time in, like, there's maybe too many maids. What's up?
One more question on this one. You
All
and I
right.
talked about when I did either a Chasey K plays, or maybe I can't remember what it was, but I remember watching you and I said this game is probably much better with a mouse and keyboard. And I
We
think
did a quick look of one of
that's
these
right.
games a very long time ago. Yes,
I think it came from that
at your old house.
at my old house. Now that
Hmm.
you have a Switch that has a mouse on it, did you try that to
Yes.
see if it worked with
No,
this game?
no. Gross. No, absolutely not.
Gross. What do you mean gross?
That's not the way I want to play this game.
Oh,
I'm sure it would work fine with a mouse and keyboard. I am not used to playing it like that. I'm not going to play it like that. I think I
Philistine.
will almost never play with this mouse attachment.
All right.
Probably never going to happen. We'll
So
see.
no drag and
Uh,
drive for you.
no, no, probably not.
Okay.
But Super Robot Wars Y, I'm looking forward to it at the end of the month. I know I'll be picking it up and playing it. Your progress carries over from the demo.
Oh, that's
You
good.
get some bonuses by playing the demo, and yes, I ended up buying the super deluxe expensive digital version. So because
Yeah,
I
you
know
did.
myself, like I'll play. I'm gonna play that game. I might as well get all the extra bullshit that comes
Listen,
with it,
I am the
right?
last person you have to justify pre-ordering the most expensive edition of a video
You're
game to.
goddamn right.
Because
You're
if
goddamn
I'm
right.
in for a penny, I'm in for the 199 deluxe Master Chief helmet edition.
I also have it's right. I don't know if it shows up
I,
on camera. It's right here.
can really quick, did
Yeah,
you
it's on
I
the
don't
bottom
want to
shelf.
talk about Microsoft during your segment, but this
Uh
is
huh.
cool and this is neat and this is what they should have done. They did the thing. Helldivers is coming to Xbox in just like a week or so.
Yeah, I
And
heard about that.
did you see the ODST tease that they did?
I heard that there was some smooth jazz playing.
Yes.
It's like, okay, sure,
And
why not?
they're gonna totally do the thing where they're gonna make you buy all that shit, because I will absolutely log my happy ass back in and play a little ODST version of that game if they go that far with it. But
I can understand. Yeah.
anyway,
All right. How about I'm gonna take a quick detour from non-video game. Well, I mean non-game, but it is still video game adjacent. I have some Switch
if
news
you
for you,
say
Bobby.
so. All right, let's hear it.
All right. So when I was going down to my parents' place, the bummer that I had is like, I still don't have a portable dock. I don't have a second dock. I
Oh,
don't have a portable dock for the Switch system. So what I ended up doing was just going, fine, I'll just rip the dock out of my cable system here,
pull
and
that
I'll go
dock
take it
out,
down with me
baby.
because I want to play on the TV. Yes, I whipped my dock out. And so I decided, okay, I'll bite the bullet. I'll take it down there. And it worked out fine. It was great to play Switch games on a TV. That is more or less how I like to play the Switch most of the time if I can. And then coming back, I went, "There's got to be a better way. Has anybody done anything about this?" And the answer is yes. People have done stuff about this. There are. I was looking at through a bunch of Reddit posts, and some people were talking about these things that were meant for the Switch One, but they could also potentially work with the Switch Two with a firmware update. And here's some other stuff that's going on. And I went, okay, am I going to do one of these things? This is a whole lot cheaper than paying $120 for a second dock and then buying even more shit for it. And like, okay, am I going to do this? I mean, I guess it might be worth trying. And as I was looking up some of the stuff that people were talking about, I found there was just an updated one that just says it works for Switch 2. And I went, okay, well, I'll give this $22 thing a shot and see if it works. So it came in on Monday, and I tried it. If anybody cares, this is the what is it called here? It is called the JEMDO Switch 2 HDMI cable dock base station. So you can look that up on Amazon or something and find it. It's $22. It's basically just it's like a thumb drive looking thing, and it just is like it's kind of like a Genki Shadowcast or not Shadowcast. I guess actually it is kind of closer to the Shadowcast than the portable dock. But it's just a thing that you plug both the USB C into and the HDMI into. Like it is the HDMI. It has the HDMI plug, so you plug that into your TV, and then you
Oh, I
have
see it.
both cords coming out of it. That's
Is it
both
like
your
blue
power
and blue and red?
There is a blue and red one, or there is a black and white one. Yes.
Okay, I see that now. Okay.
So I ended up grabbing that. It got here Monday. I tried it out on this TV, and lo and behold, worked like a fucking charm. So I now have a portable Switch dock that I can take with me until Nintendo destroys them somehow, or changes
I
the
have
way
heard
the Switch 2 works.
I've heard, because that thing is like, because of what happened with the Switch, if there's any they have like tampering detectors in that.
Yeah.
And I had read some stuff when the Switch 2 launched, that there was like bricked systems and banned systems from using like third-party docks, which a dick move, not a dock move, a dick move.
No, certainly not. Yeah.
And it just sucks. Like I'm with you. I had a little bag. We had that Genki Shadowcast, whatever it was called. It fit in there. That also could just be my charger for the Switch if I didn't want to play into a TV. It was super convenient. Nintendo, you idiots. I would pay you that much money for something that wasn't big and bulky. It's crazy.
It'd be nice. So yeah, I understand that this is playing in some murky waters. I'm not necessarily advocating that people try this. If you do want to try it, I gave you the name of the thing, so you could. But so far, it's worked like a dream. I imagine this is something where Nintendo, with some kind of firmware update, could go, none of that, no more of that. But at that point, I'm out $22 instead of $122.
Here's how they solve it, man. This is my wish list.
Okay, Nintendo, if you're listening,
they always are. I would recommend something similar to what they do if you have a Switch 1 that wants to play a game and join a game with you, but make it better than that. And what I'm talking about is like Apple's figured this out with AirPlay. It works like a charm. And if they were to be brazen enough to do a like Switch 2 Lite, they could then solve that thing's inability to not be able to play on a screen and only be handheld. They could create just a piece of hardware that sits like an Apple TV does next to your television that you can cast to. You would obviously not have an active screen. But the thing is, the Switch 2 is now using that dock to power certain things within it. So like I don't know what they're going to do here, but this is not the best solution in my opinion.
Yeah, no, this is. I'm imagining this is a temporary fix, but it's one that seems like it's going to work, and I'm excited to try it out when I do go on these trips again.
Yeah, man.
So I can report back more on it later. But I was just very happy to have something that seems like it will work, at least for now.
Can I really quick before we move on from that, I just want to flag how much I hate traveling to hotels right now because they have locked down the HDMI ports on all of the TVs in the room. And all I want to do, like, I don't give a fuck about anything else. I just want to be able to play my video game on that big screen while I'm trying to be comfortable, like leaning against the bed. It is so fucking stupid. Like, maybe more so than the Nintendo dock thing is that like don't fucking brick up your HDMI ports for people.
Yeah.
Let us plug our shit in. I know what you're trying to do.
I'm sure it's a case of like, oh, people were stealing those cables or something
Yes.
and ruins it for the rest of us. But like, come on, guys, like we're not. I'm not trying to scam you. I just want to play
No.
my games on a big screen TV.
Yep.
Please let me do that. The TV is there. My game is here. I should be able to do this. Stop stopping
Absolutely.
me. All right, Bobby. I'm going to move on to another demo that I played over this weekend. That I think you. Hey, here's a nice reversal of fortune, Bobby.
Oh.
I think here's a game that you need to play.
Okay.
And that game is Square Enix's new game, The Adventures of Elliot: The Millennium Tales, which is a terrible name. But Bobby,
It's Zelda,
I can
right?
pitch this game to you. I can pitch this game to you so easy. I can get you so excited for this.
It's just
It's just
2D
HD
HD.
2D Link to the Past.
Fuck yeah. I've read a few other things about that.
It's what you want. It's what you want.
It's what I want. I when I heard that they basically just took, hey, what if we made Bravely Default, or what if we made, what's the other one that you don't like?
Yeah, Octopath Traveler.
What if we just did those but Zelda? And I was like, yeah, like I like I like that a
what
whole
if
lot.
instead of a turn-based RPG, we just made the action adventure Zelda game that people have been clamoring for? What
Is
if we
that
just
only
Nintendo's not gonna do it?
is that only on Switch?
I don't know. I think it might be other places. I'll tell you, it plays great on Switch. But
Yeah.
this is just a really solid demo. It gives you one real dungeon to go through, but that one big dungeon. But then this first kind of intro area has a couple of other side dungeons that you can go down. It is very much like a Link to the Past or like a Link's Awakening in that you have two equipable slots, and it starts out with sword and bombs, which, like, man, they're really not
They're just
really not
it's just that.
getting away from the allegations here. But you can get other pieces of equipment. You can get a big like chain sickle, and you can
Oh.
swap that in for either of those pieces of equipment. There's bow and arrow. There's a couple of
It's
other things
downloaded.
that
I
you
can
can
only get Soul Erect Chase.
You've got a fairy companion. I think
Oh
the
my
fairy companion
god.
is actually pretty good. Like it's not as annoying as like a Navi, but the cool things that you can do with this is that the fairy gets her own couple of special moves. So the first one
Oh.
she starts out with, or she has two that you can swap to, but the one that you start on is a sprint, and you can just press left trigger or whatever, and now you're in sprint mode, and so you can do a big sprint. And all of her abilities have a cooldown, or at least like have a meter that has to cool down. So you can sprint
God
for a
damn.
decent ways before it has to recharge.
I'm gonna
That's
lose it,
pretty
aren't I?
handy. You're going to enjoy this game, I'm pretty sure. And the second ability she has is just a straight up warp, where you're able to send her out and use the right thumbstick to kind of
Oh.
move her, and then you're able to blink to wherever she is.
Is this
And you
this
can only
year?
do that a couple of times before it. I think it is. I think it's this year.
All right, I'll look it
This
up. I'll look it up.
is in Square Enix demo fashion. They are going like, "Hey, this is a pretty early demo. We're
Yeah.
looking to get feedback." So I think this is something that probably comes out later this year, but they're just looking for people to go, "Oh, I think these enemies have too much health," or "Oh,
Oh,
this doesn't feel right," or something. So they're looking to tweak stuff at this point in the same way that they've done with things like Octopath Traveler
2026.
2. And oh, it is 2026.
Yeah,
Okay,
Switch 2,
I bet it's early
PS5.
though.
Yeah, Windows and Series X. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's already,
Uh,
middle of August. It'll be before you know
it feels pretty good. It doesn't quite feel as fast and smooth as Zelda can feel, but it feels pretty darn close. I think it has some good, solid, puzzly stuff that's in there. Here's a puzzle where you have to use the sprint to go over these platforms that break and fall apart. Here, there's a dungeon where there's a lot of sand that's happening, so you have to use the warp to get over to a different part of the sand as it's pulling you back. So you need to like work past the
Does it
part
have like
that's
dungeons and shit
dragging you
too?
down. It absolutely has dungeons that you're going down, and even the dungeons will go, "Hey, this is a sword dungeon. You go down this dungeon, and you will get some kind of upgrade for your sword, whether it's a new
Ooh,
sword or what they have also are these equipables that you can get, kind of like the Paper Mario badges,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you can
yeah.
get a bunch of different things that you can you
Damn, that sounds
kind of
awesome.
like Paper Mario, you have like a
Yeah,
badge
yeah,
point
yeah.
system. So you have to figure out how many of these things you can get, but they go for different weapons. So you can go, okay, I want to turn on the ability to do the Zelda charge up sword thing that you can always do. But now when I do the slash that goes out, that slash now does a double slash. So it'll hit an enemy a second
Got
time.
it.
This one just does extra damage. So I'm going to throw that one on there. The bomb, so for the bomb, like, okay, I have one equipped that lets the bombs explode, with 25% more radius. So they're bigger explosions, they do more damage, they don't hurt me. There's so like, you can get different equipables. Here's the arrows can pierce. Now the arrows have like chain damage, so if they hit one guy,
Can,
it chains to nearby enemies.
can you tell me from the demo, those other games in that, like we rattled off with Bravely Default and Octopath, like they're
Hmm.
pretty mature. Like they're covering some pretty complicated characters. Does this carry that sentiment over? I know it's not related. Is this like
Yeah,
Zelda's pretty low stakes when it comes to the character development stuff? But it seems like there'd be
I would
more of
say
a
the
story with
story.
this.
I would say, like a Zelda game, there's not a lot of opportunity for story here.
Yeah.
Basically, bad shit's going on in the kingdom, and one guy's like, "Hey, I know this. My boy Elliot, he's a big adventurer. This sounds like
He's
right up
over on
his
the farm
alley."
getting lawn milk.
Basically. And so
Yeah.
they summon you in, and you're wearing your. I really don't like Elliot's outfit. Like he's got kind of the red mage
It's
looking
like a
outfit
Robin
where
Hood
he's got
type
like
thing,
a
right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
wish he looked a little bit more like a warrior kind of guy and less like an adventure boy.
Yeah.
I don't like the feather in the cap thing, but he comes in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm an adventurer. I'll go do the adventuring." And so they just send you out,
Cool.
and then it's just a Zelda game at that point. Like and you didn't. At least for this part of the demo, I'm not talking to other people in the world or anything. Like the overworld stuff that's there is all just enemies and items that I'm getting and solving little puzzles to get to different places.
Does it feel like it's more
Um,
fantasy or more grounded?
it's definitely more fantasy. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of fantasy stuff going on in there.
Cool.
It's good. I think it's pretty cool. At the end of the first dungeon, which is a very Dodongo style fight where you're throwing bombs into something that's like trying to suck you in, and like you throw the bombs in his mouth instead. And I'm like, yes, I'm doing the Leo point. I've played that before in a Zelda game. But at the end of that fight, you get to a point where it seems like they're kind of introducing some time travel elements in there as well. So,
That's
whether there
cool.
will actually be Link to the Past in
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this,
yeah. Uh,
it seems like they're doing something along
it's
those
look,
lines.
it's
But like,
downloading.
there's fucking heart containers in here.
Oh.
I mean, they're not called heart containers, but there's like it, and they're also not exactly shrines. But you kind of go into a challenge room, and then when you complete the challenge room, you get an extra
Oh
quote
my
unquote heart
god.
piece, more or less.
Uh
It is so blatantly Zelda, but the
yeah.
HD 2D art style looks really nice, and I think it gives it a different enough feel where you're like, this is cool. Nintendo's
Yeah.
not doing this. I mean, Nintendo's we just got the Echoes of Wisdom, which was also pretty darn solid.
Yeah.
But this is like, hey, did you miss traditional Link to the Past? Square Enix has got you, baby.
That's crazy because I feel it feels very like ripe for the Switch. I don't think it's got demos anywhere else that I can find so far.
Okay, maybe not. You should try it on the Switch. It's
Oh,
not
it's
an incredibly
downloading.
long demo, but it is. I think it's a lot of fun. And the whole time I was just thinking, man, Bobby would love this game. I think this game is cool, but Bobby would love this game.
Is the Millennium all right? So this is a new thing, right? This is not a continuation of anything.
No, this is completely new. But yes, they have to. They should change the name. The name is very stupid. The Adventures of Elliot: The Millennium Tales is somehow too long and
And
too
he's not a
generic at the same
character
time.
from like Octopath or other Square Enix shit.
Not
This
that
is
I
all
know
new.
of.
Okay.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Well, like, oh, the Octopath game does come out this year.
Okay.
Um, okay. I'm just like trying to look.
Yeah.
This was not like I knew what this was, but I don't know why I wasn't more like, oh, I should check this out because it's something I would absolutely fucking love. But
Well, and I didn't know it was going to be that either. I thought it was going to be more of an action RPG, and I guess technically it is, but I just don't feel like the RPG part is really there. It is much more of a action adventure Zelda thing.
this
Like I'm
is
not
like
leveling up a character. I'm just, equipping new different things.
there's been a lot of copycats of that style for a long time now, but they feel even more precious to me than they once did. Like I would try all of them, but I I like Tears of the Kingdom a lot more than Breath of the Wild, but I love the classic. Like, I want to go to dungeons. I want to find an item that is like a MacGuffin for that dungeon. I want the dumb, like, build your Triforce first, go find the tiers or the puzzle pieces or whatever it is. Like, I want that. And I think this is going to basically scratch a lot of itches for folks who are okay to have more Zelda, but they have a very strong affinity for this type of Zelda.
Right. It's a very specific kind of Zelda.
Yeah.
From what I saw, I didn't get, at least in this dungeon, I didn't get like a dungeon item that is
Okay.
like the Rod of Samaria or the Boomerang
Sure.
or something
What a
like
good
that.
weapon.
But I did find like side dungeons that was like, oh, this is the chain and sickle dungeon. So now you can get that, and now you have a new weapon that you can hold to like a big spin attack.
Oh,
Or you
nice.
can also charge it up, and then it's kind of like a hook shot, but it was only for enemies where you can just rope one of them in and do the scorpion come get over here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, some of that stuff pretty cool.
Oh
It's
man.
pretty neat.
I know I wasn't.
One last thing about that I
No.
was really
Yeah.
excited about is that as you're defeating enemies,
Mhm.
you gain a combo, or as you're doing hits, you gain a combo. And the combo is not just, so many hits in a time frame. It's so many hits until you get hit. And
Mm.
as you continue to build up your combo, there are tiers to that combo. And as you go up tiers, the enemies drop better and more loot. Like they'll
Oh,
drop more
very cool.
money, they'll drop more hearts. Um, so like you're able to build up that meter and then continue getting better and better stuff as you do it. And that's just pretty cool.
Oh,
I was just like, this
it
is really fun. I like
it
this a
just
lot.
downloaded. So I
Yeah.
will absolutely, and this is great too because I have with the puppy, I'm spending more time like outside of the office right now, and while I don't want to be there playing a Switch around him, but if he's like asleep in my lap, I can grab my Switch much
Yeah.
easier and play a little bit of this. So
I would say this is like no longer than a 3-hour demo, probably shorter than that, honestly. But it's enough to whet your appetite of what this game
I'm
has the
all in,
potential to
dude.
be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge fucking win. That's awesome.
Yeah, I figured you'd like it. Now for something that I like.
Yeah, what I
I
tried.
it.
I was like, I just assumed that you were getting like all these Switch downloads, but I don't think that's what this is.
No, this is very much not on the Switch.
I was like, did I
don't
just
tell
miss?
don't tell Nintendo.
I was like, did I miss an announcement?
About no. Don't tell Nintendo about Pokemon Lazarus. So this is a demo. This is a ROM hack of a Pokemon game, which that sounds like me, right?
Yeah.
This is a ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald, but it is unlike some other ROM hacks. This is a complete conversion
Mm.
of Emerald. It's not just, hey, we made Pokemon Emerald, but we changed a couple sprites, or we changed the difficulty, or we switched around the Pokemon locations. This is completely different. So to try to keep this as quick as possible, Bobby, I wrote a bunch of notes, and
You're
I'm
good,
gonna
dude. We got
run
time.
down these.
This is.
I know we got time, but I also know myself. So I wrote down a big list of notes here.
Before you get to your big list,
I'm going to run through some of this stuff. Yeah.
Do you like what you played?
Absolutely. This is
okay.
This fucking rules.
Okay. All right.
So this is a 3-gym demo of this upcoming Pokemon ROM hack. The hacker is named Nemo622. They've previously worked on a different ROM hack called Emerald Sea Glass, which
I've heard you talk about that.
I don't know if I've talked about it.
You've definitely mentioned Sea Glass on here.
Have I?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Anyway, I have not played Sea Glass, but looking at Sea Glass, Sea Glass looks awesome too, so I think I'm probably going to end up be playing Sea Glass after
This isn't the
I
one
finish
where
this demo.
it looked like the really badass style. Like, wasn't there like a 2D HD one that somebody was building of one of these games?
I don't know what you're talking about, bud. Like what you're talking about sounds fun too, but that's not what this one
No,
is.
I mean, it was you, me, and Johnny definitely like shared the clip with each other. It was a remake.
Oh, no. Like that I think was just somebody's art project where
Got it.
they
Okay.
kind of made it in the Ken Sugimori style and it was like a
Yes.
3D thing. Yeah, yeah. No, these are just ROM hacks. So these are
Okay.
taking, the GBA Pokemon games and saying, well, what can we do with this technology? And so what they're doing for both Emerald Sea Glass, but more specifically Lazarus here, is it's a complete conversion of Pokemon Emerald where there is a new region. This is the Ilios region, which is
It sounds
just made up
Greek.
for this game. It is Greek. Yes,
There we go.
you're in kind of a Greek style thing. I haven't
Huh.
seen, I'm not seeing like statuary and stuff like that, but there is
Yeah.
very
A
much an
Colosseum, perhaps.
Acropolis. Maybe. I mean, that's Rome, but there is like
Well,
an
yeah.
Acropolis style thing that you from the main menu. So I
Okay.
imagine there's going to be some kind of ruins and things that you do with Greece and the
They could
Greek
probably do
islands
some
kind of
really
area.
cool legendaries with that setting.
Maybe, but I think I don't think there's any Fakeamon in this
Oh,
one.
okay. It's all
So
the thing.
this is just regular Pokemon, but the person who's making this seems like really locked in to what a Pokemon ROM hack could and should be. First things first, this game looks gorgeous. Like it is not just taking the assets of Pokemon Emerald. Instead, what this person has done has they found a way to make like Gen 2 Pokemon, like Johto looking stuff, like Gold and Silver. They found a way to kind of bring that art style into the GBA games. And what I mean by that is when you think about the Pokemon sprites
Mm-hmm.
from Gen 2,
Mm-hmm.
it was a much more limited color palette than you'd get from
Yeah.
Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of brought that artistic style into this GBA style power. So like they're able to do cool animations and things like that, but it is they're not just ripping sprites from Gen 2. These are brand new sprites, but they look like they could be from Gen 2 or it's like a Gen 2.5. It's a really striking look, and that's just the Pokemon and trainer designs. They've made all new tile sets for everything. Like
Huh.
the world that you're walking through looks completely different than a Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and like somebody's done a lot of artwork design
Yeah,
on
I'm
this,
I'm
and it
watching
just
some
looks
video
really,
footage
really
of
cool.
it.
It's neat. Like
Yeah.
it's cool that Pokemon could look like this and does with this ROM hack.
And
It's a better
again,
world if we just stopped making Pokemon games after Gen 2 and just like kept with
this
that
is
art
all you
style.
want
And
from Pokemon though. You could give
this kind of is. It kind of is.
like you could really
Kind of
give
is.
two
Yeah.
fucks about anything else going on with modern Pokemon. Like you want this
Yeah.
type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here to the Pokemon themselves. So for a demo, and again, this is a 3 gym demo. Check generally Pokemon games have 8 gyms, so you're getting a relatively limited demo. So far, I'm
But where
only
are
a
you
little
playing
past
it?
the first gym. I'm playing this on my analog pocket, but you can play this anywhere you could play a GBA game.
How hard is it to get it playable in your pocket?
Not hard at all.
Okay.
Like if you've already gone to the ability of using the FPGA stuff on your analog pocket, this is just as easy as patching an emerald, patching a clean ROM of emerald with this patch, and then putting it on your pocket and just going to town.
Okay.
Super easy. Even I can do it, and I suck at this kind of shit. Well, let's talk about the Pokemon. For a demo, there are tons of Pokemon in this thing. Like there's Pokemon from every gen. Some of this
What?
stuff is like meat and potato stuff that you'll see from a lot of hackers, but this one specifically like has Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet here. They have Pokemon from Gen 1, and I can't pick out that they've gotten Pokemon from every single gen, but I'm sure every single gen will be shown in some way. I don't know if they're going to try to have a complete Pokedex. I very highly doubt that. But well, what they have put in here is pretty impressive, because anything past Gen 4, now we moved into 3D, and
Sure.
they have made custom sprites for all these new Pokemon. Like there's a Cloth. Do you remember Cloth from Scarlet and Violet? It's the crab that was kind of like hanging on a wall, and
Yes.
it a big crab, and it fell down. So like that crab I have seen in this game. A guy had the I forgot the little dude's name, but it's the little fire guy who could turn into like the cool purple sword guy or the knight looking fire
Yes,
guy
I do remember what you're
in
talking
Scarlet
about.
Violet. Yeah, I forgot his name, but like that Pokemon's in there so far. So there's a lot of Pokemon from a lot of different gens, and it is kind of just cool to see them all in this very cohesive old style. That part is awesome. They also have some regional variants in there as well. Like I've seen both types of Sandshrew. I've seen both types of Ponyta. I'll talk about I've got another one here that's in my party. I'll mention that here in a second. But they put in a lot of different Pokemon designs in here, and that part is also really impressive.
I'm trying to find
And
out
all
how I
these
can download it.
Pokemon.
That's all.
I mean, I can help you, buddy.
Okay. Okay.
I can just make this very easy for you.
Okay.
But all of these Pokemon also have new learn sets. So there's, some of them have gotten more tweaks than others. I saw that Ekans is now Poison Dark instead of just being straight Poison. But other Pokemon have, updated move sets where they are able to get some more useful moves. You start with the choice of 9 different Pokemon starters. You don't have the original trio, but you have quite a few there. I ended up going with Froakie, who turns
Froakie's
into
great.
Greninja.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's a lot of good ones that you can choose from, but they're all basically starters from a bunch of different gens, and you can pick whichever one you want.
Can I ask a question?
So yeah, go for it.
And if you're going to talk about it, let me know. Some of the modern quality of life stuff that's happened in Pokemon since this era, is that present here?
Some of it is, yeah.
Okay.
Like there's, I'll mention a couple of those things.
Okay.
First, let me tell you about my team, just so to give you an idea of some Pokemon that are in here and what I'm dealing with. I've got a Frogadier, which is the evolved version of Froakie, not quite a Greninja yet. I got an Archon, which is the Archaeopteryx kind of fossil Pokemon.
Yep.
Not Aerodactyl, but the other one.
Yep.
But it's a rock flying thing. It's pretty cool. I got a Mankey. Love a good Mankey. I got a Fampy. Love a good Fampy. Love a Dawn fan. Can't wait to get a Dawn fan.
Big Dawn fan. Big fan of Dawn fan.
Yes, I'm a Dawn fan. I got a Grubbin, which is from Sun and Moon.
Jeff?
That's the one that turns into Vikavolt. No, not Jeff Grubbin. No, but this is the electric bug that turns into that Vikavolt thing that looks really
cool. That's a really cool one. That one looks like the van from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It's kind of, sure. Yeah, it kind of looks like a Vic Viper plane style. Yeah. And then my last Pokemon is a Hisuian Voltorb, the electric grass one. So some of those forms are also in there. I fought a Hisuian Growlithe at this point too. So they've got a lot of cool things in there. Difficulty wise, this is basically just a straight up, if you've played a Pokemon game before, you're like, hey, somebody just made a new Pokemon game. Some people don't like that. Some people want their Pokemon games to be difficult. There's lots of enhancement mods that just go, I found a way to make this Pokemon game real hard. I can enjoy some of those, but generally I just kind of want to see people make more games that Game Freak could have made but didn't. And this game is very much in line with that so far, at least. Who knows, maybe it does get more strategic and more difficult later, but so far this felt like a very traditional Pokemon game in terms of difficulty. Here's they've implemented a quest system that helps you from getting lost. So now you just kind of get you talk to the professor at one point and he says, hey, you need to go to this town and fight the first gym leader. And then it goes at the end of that conversation, it says, quest, go to this town to fight the gym leader. And so you can also, on the pause menu, you can look at your quest, so you always know where you're supposed to go. And that's just a nice quality of life thing. I've seen a couple other hacks do that too, but I think it's done really nicely here. All right, quality of life stuff. There are random battles, as you would expect from a traditional kind of Pokemon ROM hack. But what they've done is they kind of made like a hybrid thing where there are a few select Pokemon that are walking around on the field at any one time. So you
Got it.
could just do random battles, but if you were walking around and you go, oh, that's a Ponyta. I see that Ponyta. I want to get that Ponyta. You just walk up to it and
Give me
talk to
that
it
Ponyta.
and get into that fighting. So you can fight that specific Pokemon. And so it's only taking Pokemon that would show up in that route anyway, but it at least gives you an idea of, okay, here's a couple of Pokemon that I'm specifically looking for, and you can just go back and forth, leaving the route and coming back to it if you want to just make sure you're guaranteeing to find
That's
that
cool.
one. Or you can just do the random battles if you are fine to keep looking for whatever. I think it's a nice system. It's something that we've gotten like Scarlet and Violet wasn't like that. Like there weren't random battles in Scarlet Violet, but there are one
Everything
of the
was out in
games
the
had this
open.
kind of thing. Yeah. One of these
Uh,
games had it. I can't remember if it was like Sword and Shield had it or something where you
I
could
don't
do
think
random battles, but also there was a Pokemon every once in a while.
was that
It
the
feels a
Alolan
little
one.
bit like it feels a little bit like in like Gen 4, I think it is, where you could see the shaking grass and it would generally be a smaller group of
Yep.
Pokemon that could show up in the shaking grass. But now you just see like, oh, that's a Aeron. I want to go fight the Aeron because I don't have that steel rock type on my team yet. So that's cool that you can just go and go find that thing. TMs, they're unlimited. That's a
That's
very
the one I
general
was
thing
really
that hacks
curious about.
do. Yeah, hacks generally do that. This one is no exception. So it's really nice. The first gym leader I fought gave me bullet seed, so now I can just basically give anything bullet seed. So that's
Love
kind
a
of
good
cool.
bullet seed.
HMs. I'm not 100% sure this is how it works, but I think this is how it works based on my testing. It works a little bit differently. Sometimes hacks will just go like, fuck that. You got the HM. The HM is all you need to do the overworld stuff. You got cut. You can just cut anywhere you are. Because very few of the games want to force you to put cut onto a Pokemon
Why
because
would
they
you?
know it's
I
not a good
hated
move.
doing that shit.
I also hated doing that. And some hacks try to get around it by making cut good. Like, oh, what if we made cut
Like a good move.
75 strength
Yeah.
bug move? Like, wouldn't it be good then? And it's like, I guess so, but I still don't really want to use it.
No.
What this hack, I believe, has done is as long as you have a Pokemon that could theoretically learn the move, it can just use the move without actually having it taught to them. So my Frogadier can use cut while not actually knowing the move cut, just because I have cut in my inventory and I
Sure.
have this Pokemon that can use cut. So I still would need to have a Pokemon that can fly. I would still need to have a Pokemon that can surf. I would need a Pokemon that could rock smash, but I don't actually have to have those moves in the list. And I think that's a nice way of doing it, where it forces you to still build a team that can do these things.
Right.
So it does kind of force your hand on who you're bringing in, but it's still a lighter touch than the early Pokemon games that very much force you to go, okay, I just need one Pokemon that can do 4 HM moves, and then I've got one that can surf because surf's actually a good one.
Surf was a
They
good
I think
one.
they found a better system for this. Um,
So how does this get to be a thing? One, and when does this thing get to be a thing?
Well, it gets to be a thing because somebody just has the idea. There's a lot of Pokemon hacking out there. There's a lot of tutorials for this kind of stuff that's out there. And if you've got the vision for something like this, and you've got the time, you too could make a Pokemon ROM hack. A lot of people do. A lot of them are garbage, but some people really know how to make them. And this Nemo 622 seems like they do. In terms of timing, it's they have said that they're planning on getting this out before the end of the year. I would generally, when I hear anybody give a time window like that at all in this space, I'm generally going like, you're not going to make that. All these times slip, and it's fine. They all have life events that come up or whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if this moves into 2026. But
Sure.
whenever it comes out, I know I'll be playing it. I've been playing it all night. I downloaded it before the show and just was like, well, I'll check this out a little bit, and then I've just been playing it for hours, right up until showtime, and I'm loving this. I think this is really cool.
That's rad, man.
The only thing that I didn't really like in this is that there's a decent amount of backtracking that they force you to do. Because the starting town that you're in is kind of like this hub and spoke thing. So you go south to go to that first gym, and then you have to come back, and now you have to go left to this more mountainous area, and then you have to come back to this area. So you kind of just keep coming back to the starting town. They do kind of acknowledge it and homage it in a way where you even have to go find the professor's parcel, like you did in the Gen 1, where you have to go find the Pokeball and bring it back.
Oh yeah.
For Oak's parcel. They do reference that, but at the same time, like, I don't really like backtracking. It's not really fun to fight Pokemon at level 10 that you fought at the gym, and then have to go back and fight a bunch of level 4 guys that don't give you any experience. That's a small quibble, but it is the only quibble I could really find, because I think there's so much other good stuff in here. Oh, the Pokemon follow you. That's also a really important one.
Oh, that's a huge thing. That's like the
Everybody
question
loves
I
the
should have been
Pokemon that
asking.
follow you.
Any game
Everyone
that
loves the
doesn't do it
Pokemon that
now,
follow you.
yeah,
It's a big undertaking to do that. But if this person has already done that to have the Pokemon out in the field that you can just fight at any one time, it stands to reason that you should just have them follow you at any point, and they can.
Agreed.
So it's cool. It looks great. It's a hell of a thing. I'm really excited about this. I want to keep on playing this. The only other problem that I can see is I'm playing this like a real Pokemon game, and I'm not playing it like it's a demo where I am just collecting all the Pokemon that I can get. And I know that I'm going to hit the end of this demo and then not have something to play. And then when the real game comes out, I don't think the demo progress is going to move over, because I think they're
Probably
still
not.
tweaking a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to just do all of this again. But also, I'm having a great time doing it. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, it looks cool, man. Like I'm gonna figure out a way to play it. And I haven't played my Pocket in a while, so it'll be fun to fire that thing up.
Yeah, definitely. It's real cool. I would suggest people go look up Pokemon Lazarus. It's pretty easy just to Google and find it. And if you have a UPS patcher or an IPS patcher, those are easy to find as well. Then you're kind of in business. But I think this is a really good one of these. I think as soon as I finish this, I'm going to go and probably play Sea Glass.
Oh yeah,
because that also has a completely custom tile set by the same developer. So I want to the same hacker. So I want to try that one out as well.
Do it.
Good stuff.
Good updates, man. I'm gonna definitely be playing some stuff tonight. That Adventures of Elliot sounds great, and that Pokemon Lazarus too. I think I'll be checking out both of those. We won't be checking out Super Robot Wars, but
but what if you did?
What if I did?
What if you went to it like you did for Death Stranding 2, and then you became a sicko for Super Robot Wars?
Oh boy,
maybe it's possible. It has G Gundam in it. We have G Gundam bullshit that we put in our podcast.
Our schedule is a mess right now. That is not accurate. We did not stream on Monday night. I had some family stuff going on. Everybody is fine, but just needed to hang out and do that. So we did not stream last Monday either, but we are going to be back this upcoming Monday. Hopefully going back to our kingdom and getting some folks happy. If I am going to stream on Friday,
or pissed.
Or pissed.
Probably more pissed, but maybe they'll be happy.
There's a very high probability I will be puppying Friday night, but if I'm not, I will be grounded on stream. But that's what I've got going on. If you want more consistent updates, Chase, what do you got going on right now?
Yeah, there's a new episode of Retrenched that came out today on Chase K Plays. I got back into the trenches, as it were, to play more of that. That game continues to be really fun.
Very cool.
Having a great time. People should check that out. It's a good series. And then also, it's not out yet, but Pierce and I did record the new episode of Pilot Program on HBO's The Gilded Age. So I just need to go in and edit the episode now. It's a long one. I mean, it's an hour and 20-minute episode of the show. So our episode of the podcast is longer than that. Of course.
Very long.
Yeah, so quite long. I'm sure it'll take me a bit to edit and put in all the things that I want to put in. But I think it was a good conversation. It was a lot of fun, and so look for that one coming relatively soon. And then also we did announce at the end of that episode what our next podcast is going to be about, and it's going to be on The Bronx is Burning, which is about the New York Yankees. It's an ESPN miniseries that
sounds awesome.
A while ago. Yeah, I remember seeing trailers of it as a kid, commercials for it on ESPN, but I never actually watched the show. And one of my friends brought it up to me and just said, "Hey, have you ever seen that? Sounds like something you would watch." And I went, "No, but now that you mention it, I should." and so now we decided to do it for Pilot Program. So that'll be cool.
Awesome.
Neither of us have seen it, so good
hell
stuff.
yeah, man. Well, lots to do, lots to hang out. Thanks for telling me about these games. We will be back for sure on Monday with some Kingdom shenanigans. Chase, you keep playing Pokemon and let me know if
No problem, buddy. Happy to do that one for you.
Let me know if you got any hot tips on that one or how I can play it easily, because I will probably take you up on that.
Will do.